Hello, everyone. Thank you for letting me spend some time with you once again. I do appreciate it. Um, Hopefully, you've been following along as I look at the importance of these appointed times. I'd really like to give you the chance one more time. Books are available at authorjerrymitchell.com. That's where you can find them. And I'm a little apprehensive about saying what I'm going to say today. I need to warn you. I need to warn you. This is where some of you might get a little angry, a little upset. Some might get a little confused. And believe it or not, some of you, this might clarify some things for you. So those are the things you can expect. All right. Bear with me until I finish so you get the whole picture. And remember, this is based on the importance of the appointed times being unclear pictures of good things to come. Now, I've got a lot of ground to cover, and I don't want to waste all your time, so let's dig right in. We'll start back with Yom Kippur, because in the last episode, I talked about how the bull was used as atonement for sins for the Levitical priesthood, and now it's time to look at the goats. These were twin goats. Twins, of course, born of the same parents, right? Now, in past episodes, I have talked about why goats resemble the enemy or Satan, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to go back into that right now. There's just more important things to cover. The goat is used to represent sin, much like the lamb is used to represent righteousness, right? It's two representations of two totally different things, opposite ends of the spectrum, if you will. Now, in Exodus chapter 20, 21, 22, and 23, all right, we have the covenant outlined, and it basically says our Creator demands payment for payment. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, life for life, right? So something good deserves something good, something bad deserves something bad. It's that simple. In Numbers, we read about the fiery serpents. They were sent. Moses was said, put these images, brass images, up on a pole, so if people are bitten, they look up, they see it, they're healed. Payment for payment. Once again, they're bitten by one thing, they look and they see it, right? Now, for Christians, Yeshua said he needed to be lifted up as Moses lifted up the snakes. Well, it's not that you're sinning and you look up and all of a sudden there it is, but you need to be remembered of your righteousness. Payment for payment, right? Good for good, bad for bad. So now getting to Yom Kippur, the goat was sacrificed. The high priest would walk into the Holy of Holies, sprinkle the blood of the goat on the mercy seat 7 times. The blood of the lamb in the spring of the year was never to be used this way. The blood of the lamb in the spring of the year was a sign. So how does the blood of the goat in the fall give us an unclear picture of good things to come? Well, let's start in 2 Thessalonians. And remember, Paul doesn't pull this stuff out of thin air. He gets it from, what he's read, right? He gets it from the books of Moses, the other prophets, Psalms, all of those things. This is where he's pulling this stuff from. And in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 3 and 4, let no one deceive you in any way, for it will not come until the rebellion occurs and the man of lawlessness, the son of destruction, is revealed. He will oppose and exalt himself above every so-called God or object of worship. So he will seat himself in the temple of God, proclaiming himself to be God. Your particular translations may be slightly different. Something I need to say. Does not necessarily mean that the temple needs to be rebuilt. Okay? Isaiah and Amos refer to the tabernacle of David. Okay, so it could be the tent of tabernacle one more time. We have to remember, our Creator tells David he was perfectly content to live in a tent. He didn't need a house built for him. He was happy there. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the temple has to be rebuilt exactly as it was. It could very, very well be something different. But it also means that the Ark of the Testimony, the Ark of the Covenant, needs to be brought from its hiding place and put in that tabernacle, in that place, right? Now, I've covered before that the folks who are getting ready to rebuild the temple, they have reconstructed many things, but the one thing they didn't was the ark, along with a couple other things. And the speculation is they know where it's at, so it needs to be brought out. Reproduction will not do, okay? Now, this man of lawlessness, man of perdition, depending on your translations, once again, is someone of complete hopelessness, complete despair. Some people call him the Antichrist. And on a little side note, a lot of people, they kind of wonder who it might be, where they're going to come from. Some people think, oh, it's going to be a pope. Others think, oh, no, it's going to be a Muslim. And others, they think it's even going to be of Jewish descent. Well, I don't really think that whatever religion he claims to have come from is going to matter much, because he's not going to follow any religious system. He's going to worship himself, much like Nebuchadnezzar, right? When you hear the sound of the trumpet, you got to bow down. And that's how he's going to operate. You got to worship me, and that's the way he's going to be. He's going to worship himself, and that might be why he's so hopeless, because there is no hope in self-worship. It just doesn't happen. But anyway, he will sit on the mercy seat proclaiming he is God. And to see what happens when that we're around to see it happen, you can expect something. But we need to look at Daniel 8:25, because this is probably where Paul is drawing from. Okay? And Daniel 8:25 reads, "Through his craft and by his hand, he will cause deceit to prosper." Kind of like what's going on today. Let me continue. "And in his own mind, he will make himself great. In a time of peace, he will destroy many, and he will even stand against the Prince of Princes. Yet he will be broken off, but not by human hands." Not by human hands. He will be killed, but not by human hands. Now, this is where Gabriel is interpreting a vision that was given to Daniel, a vision of the ram, which is a full-grown lamb now, right? And a goat. Two opposing forces, one representing good, one representing evil. Spring of the year, fall of the year. Follow me? I hope. Now, this goat, this representation of evil, is going to be killed, but not by human but not by human hands. Sorry about that. Having trouble speaking. Now, this implies that it is our Creator himself who is going to speak and end his life. It's an indication of how this man of complete hopelessness will be sacrificed. And it makes sense that it's going to complement Paul's 2 Thessalonians passage. When God speaks, ends this person's life, his blood will be sprinkled on the mercy seat by God himself, making payment, atoning for sin. Yeshua, Jesus, was killed in the spring of the year by human hands, right? The man of lawlessness will be killed in the fall of the year by our Creator himself. And that makes a way. Because evil will be put down with for a time. And it will allow the reigning Messiah to rule with a rod of iron. Remember Psalm 110:1. Jehovah said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet. It's all here in the Bible. And I'm not pulling things out of context here, right? I'm simply putting them in an order that makes sense when these appointed times are not ignored, not confused, not covered by tradition, but we look and we see exactly what they are. Now, hopefully you're wondering, well, if it's the blood is of the goat in the fall of the year is sprinkled on the mercy seat for the atonement of sins, and what's the blood of the lamb in the spring of the year for? What kind of a sign can it be? Let's look at Ezekiel chapter 9. And remember, this is a vision of a future event because he has just dug through a wall and finds a doorway. That is an indication that it's going to be something long distant future, right? Ezekiel 9, verses 3 and 4. The glory of the God of Israel rose from above the cherubim where it had been and moved to the threshold of the temple. And he called out to the man clothed in linen who had a writing kit at his side. Go through the city of Jerusalem and put a mark on the forehead of the men sighing and groaning over all the abominations committed there. Now this mark, if you read this in Hebrew, it specifically says it's the Hebrew letter Tav, and it looks kind of like a tilted X, okay? Let's compare this to Revelation 7:3. Do not harm the land or sea or the trees until we have placed a seal on the foreheads of the servants of our God. Many, many people, including myself, consider this to be the exact same event. Ezekiel seeing it in the future. It's revealed to John, who writes it down. Very, very similar. Doesn't have to be exactly the same way. It's two different people seeing the same thing, right? These were the ones who were sealed, but they had many, many other people with them. How do you get to be one of the people that's with them? Because remember, the ones who are sealed, we get hung up on 144,000. Don't worry about being part of the 144,000 if you're not a direct descendant of Abraham. You don't have to worry about that. You get to be with them because in Revelation 14:12, here's the call for the perseverance of the saints. Here is a call for the perseverance of the saints, and it gives us a definition. Those who keep the commandments of God, and the faith of Yeshua, Jesus. Now, some translations will actually use the word faith in Jesus. That's incorrect. It's not in any of the original manuscripts that we have. It's not there. In the ones that we have, it says the faith of. So what was the faith of Yeshua? What was the faith of this person that many, many Christians want to follow, but don't? Well, it's simple. He placed his complete trust. He placed everything that he had in the Father, in Jehovah. He said, look, you know more than I do. You sent me here. You're telling me to do these things. I will trust you that whatever you tell me to do, it will be okay. He lived exactly the way he was designed to live. What I've laid out for you in this is a comparison between the spring feast of Passover, where the blood's used for a sign, the fall feast of Yom Kippur, where the blood is sprinkled on the mercy seat, atoning for sin. These unclear pictures become less fuzzy, right? When we remove the layers and layers and layers of tradition that confuse them, these unclear pictures become less fuzzy when we do away with the man-made doctrines that completely ignore them. Exactly how and when these appointed times in the spring and fall, we know what happened in the spring, but in the fall, we're not exactly certain, because remember, these are unclear pictures. But until then, we watch, and we wait. These things may happen in a way that we're not expecting. A lot of people have been told a lot of things over many, many, many years, and they've simply accepted them. They believed them. We have indeed inherited the lies of our fathers, as it says in Jeremiah. We've never questioned them. We've simply accepted them. But our Creator has shown us in His appointed times that He will indeed fulfill His promises. He will sign, seal, and deliver His judgment to everyone. And it will be payment for payment. It will be payment for payment. Question is, do you deserve righteousness or do you deserve other? What are you paying for? What are you paying into? That's the question. That's the question. We have the information. We have the knowledge. We have the ability to do better. We have the ability to ignore the man-made doctrines, the man-made traditions, to embrace the words of our Creator. But you have to be willing. You have to be willing. I know some of the things you've just heard might anger you, some might upset you, some may confuse you. But are you angry with me for delivering those words? Are you angry for yourself for not studying the Bible the way you should have? That's another question you have to ask yourself. And that might be my next episode, is how to read your Bible. I'm not quite sure yet. But hopefully, knowing about these appointed times, knowing how important they are and why they are so important, why they can clarify so many things, and I'm not saying this sarcastically here, but because these appointed times have been ignored, they've been covered up. When you ask a religious leader a question, they give you that deer in the headlights look, like, what are you talking about? I've seen it. I've experienced it. I know. But because we have all of this information is contained in the Bible that we're not reading, we're ignoring. We think it's for some other time, somebody else. It doesn't pertain to us. Yeah, it does. It pertains to us. It pertains to us because our Creator will sign, seal, and deliver His judgment to everyone. I hope you have enjoyed this series. I hope it really gives you something to think about. And more importantly, I hope it sends you into your Bible so that you can look at these passages, study them, understand them, take them to heart, take them to prayer, and see what comes from it. Something to think about until next time. And until then, many, many blessings, everyone.